get to the tunes. Where'd my list go? There it went. Music. Thank you. Hello. How are you today? Hopefully you are well. So today, we're starting our Packers rebuild. Now, let's take a gander at our setup here. We got, of course, we got the boy Aaron Rodgers, 90 overall, gambler, scheme fit, X factor, whole bit. Aaron Jones as star. I'm thinking I might. Okay, I did already add him to the trade block. Awesome. Gonna add Jamal Williams to the trade block here and rock Corey Grant as the backup. Then we have superstar Devontae Adams and David Bakhtiari on the offense. This middle beef of the line I'd like to put some work into. Then we have a whole lot of normal dev receivers because there's a serious drop off after Devontae. So it's like, gross. But we can address that in the draft or something. I got 26 Savage, the rookie first rounder at safety, starting over Tramon Williams. I think I put Tremont on the trade block as well. Then we got our 3 star dev corners, Josh Jackson, Jair Alexander, and Kevin King. I moved Rashawn Gary down to left end, so I feel like he's going to do well down there. Blake Martinez, Darius Smith, Adrian Amos, Preston Smith. I want to upgrade this MLB 2 spot. Dean Lowry, Kenny Clark in there. And then J.K. Scott and Mason Crosby is our hunters. And a kicker. I'm not going to take Zadarius Smith off the line, though. I could make 26 Savage our slot corner as well, but I want to give Josh Jackson playing time also. I want to move Rashawn Gary up there, but at the same time, you got to get your ballers out on the field. So, I'd like to possibly scoop a deal to fix this MLB 2 spot, but if I don't, you'll see me at the midway point. Alright, so we ended up making a deal with the Colts here. I look like I fairly paid for him, but we ended up getting Naheem Hines. Our boys got a star dev, so if I can find a way to utilize him and Aaron Jones together, we should be in good shape. Alright, so we decided to add a little bit of receiver depth by trading our 3rd D-tackle, Deion Simon, a 5th round and a 7th round pick, over to the Rams for Reynolds here. I think his name is Josh. But he was 24, had a star dev, and we know there's a tremendous drop-off after Devontae Adams. So we were like, ugh, we need to do something about that, so I did. Also, we're signing Des Bryant. Not like that's important, but he's going to be kind of like a stopgap kind of thing. I could bring in Cam Meredith too. He's at a decent age for rebuilds, but still on the middle linebacker hunt, by the way. Alright, so here we are at the beginning of year 1. I couldn't find a suitable deal. I even tried making like a huge splash move, but even then that didn't work out. So we have Mason Foster right now as like a stopgap kind of thing. And I will see you at the midway point. Alright, so at about the midway point, we're 4-4. We started off 4-1. We're back in the division from the Bears. That's not what I wanted to look at. That's what I wanted to look at. There we go. I'm not a scrub. So we ended up catching 3 L's in a row. 2 of them in very winnable games. Like, these two could have been dubs. I mean, it's Kansas City, but you know, 500 at the midway point, not entirely terrible. So we have some re-signs to do as well. Well, more importantly, we're gonna get Blake Martinez signed up. That's our big one right now. He wants a little bit more money, of course. I'll re-sign Mason for a year. I have no problem with that. Unless we can get a better kicker. All y'all can go pound sand. Might bring back... Trevor Davis is our kick returner, so I'll bring him back on a 1 year. Geronimo. So, it depends on if we decide to retain Des Bryant at the end of the year. Well, we'll see if he's worth retaining at the end. So, I'll worry about Geronimo later. But yeah, and for now, we'll re-sign Beluga Whale over here. But we'll come back to the table with Blake Martinez for absolute certain. And I will see you guys at the end of the year. Well, we ended up finishing up 8-8 on the year. We had two very crucial losses to the Bears and the Vikings on the way to the playoffs. So your playoffs are shaping up like this, by the way. The Browns 13-3, the number 1 seed, the Pats number 2. I feel like I need to sneeze. Hold on. The Chiefs would be the 3, the Colts the 4, the Chargers are 5, the Bills are number 6. And on the Packers side, or on the NFC side of things, Rams 1, Saints 2, Bears 3, the Cowboys the 4, the Panthers the 5, and the Giants are the 6. We would have needed to honestly win out, because we would have had the tiebreaker over the Giants, so. But it's okay. Matt LaFleur's first season going 500, not bad. Could definitely be better. Excuse me. But we'll check like yearly awards and all that come Super Bowl time. And as is customary here, we check out the draft class, or not the draft class, the Pro Bowlers. So Aaron Rodgers did not make the Pro Bowl. Davante Adams made the Pro Bowl. David Bakhtiari made the Pro Bowl. Let's see here. Kevin King made the Pro Bowl. As did 26 Savage. Let's go. That's lit. Pro Bowler in his first season for Darnell Savage. Now, we're gonna go straight to, because now we're gonna be doing the yearly awards. Once it changes screens here. Boom. Tom Brady was your MVP with Mitchell Trubisky number 2. Aaron Rodgers, no Packers on this list here. Coach of the Year, Freddie Kitchens for the Browns. No Packers. That's the AFC. There we go. Offensive Player of the Year was Mitchell Trubisky. If he didn't get a depth trade increase, Khalil Mack, Defensive Player of the Year. No Pack. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Of course, you knew it was going to happen. Kyler Murray. And on the defensive side, DeAndre Baker ended up winning Rookie of the Year with 26 Savage, and Rashawn Gary at 2 and 3. Now, let us see who wins the Super Bowl after I do scouting points. The Chiefs ended up winning the Super Bowl. However, As you've seen, the last one, we already did the Chiefs, so the Rams went on my list of teams to do next. But we're going to check the end of year stats here. I mean, I could still get some value out of Dez, but let's take a look at our yearly stats. So, Aaron Rodgers had a really down year. 3,900 yards, 29 touchdowns, 11 picks. Aaron Jones ended up going 854 for 3 scores. Nyheim Hines 395 and 5, almost 400 yards, not bad. Combined 1,200 yards rushing. I'm okay with that. Receiving, Davante Adams had a 1,000-yard season and 12 scores. Josh Reynolds 817 and 2. Dez had 8 touchdowns this year, 723. Jimmy Graham, Aaron Jones, and Kelvin Benjamin even getting in on the touchdown juice. Nyheim Hines didn't get anything there. Defensively, Blake Martinez led the team in tackles. TFLs with 10, 2.5 sacks and a pick for Blake. Kevin King, though, had a ball and out year. 100 tackles, 3 TFLs, half a sack, and 2 picks. Our sacks leader was Preston Smith with 5.5, as well as Dean Lowry. Rashawn Gary had 5, Zadarius Smith had 4.5. So we got a lot of sacks from a lot of different places, but I need to see more out of Zadarius Smith, though. For picks, Jair Alexander led the team with 3, Kevin King got 2, 26 Savage got 2, and Adrian Amos got 2. Any defensive touchdowns? Just the one from Kevin King. And no kick return touchdowns, and no punt return touchdowns, which is fine. We already covered the yearly awards just a second ago. So here, I mean, it depends on, so let's go to receivers specifically. I mean, Josh Reynolds is on the come up, so I'll bring Dez back on a 1 year. Alright, we brought him back on a 1 year. Mason Foster, I'm going to bring back on a 1 year if I can. Salary cap. Alright, and it's looking to be everyone else is going to go pound sand. Yeah, I mean, a 1 year for Dez, so it's like mostly for the mentorship of the young guns, but we'll see what happens, and I will see you at the end of free agency. Figured I'd pop in and let you know that we did sign Eric Ebron. We had to cut a lot of people to make it work, but we ended up getting Eric Ebron, and he should finish us out for the rest of this rebuild. Alright, so we ended up wheeling Jamal Williams over to the Eagles along with Josh Jones, who we really weren't using, and a 5th round pick to get the 19th overall selection in the draft. Alright, so the Dez Bryant experiment's over. Josh Reynolds is now going to be our number 2 guy. We all had to send Aaron Jones and our 3rd round for next season to the Titans for the number 6 overall pick. Alright, y'all, so here we are with our draft recap for year number 1. With our 6th pick that we got from the Titans, we ended up drafting Dylan Moses, 79 overall middle linebacker. We also drafted Creed Humphrey, who we're actually going to slide in to... We're actually going to slide him to left guard. And then we have Alaric Jackson, the right tackle from Iowa, 75 overall. Creed's a 76, by the way. I don't remember which rebuild it was, but we know how good this Alaric Jackson is. Hopefully he produces the same kind of consistency here in Green Bay. Now, I'll get to him in a second. Antonio Gandy Golden was our 3rd round pick. If you remember our Giants rebuild, we ended up getting this guy to a superstar. So, that could be some, like, that could be some 3rd round value for you if you use the particular draft class. But we drafted KJ Costello. I'm actually going to change his number to 8. For some reason, I like the idea of 18 on him. We have KJ Costello. 71 overall, hidden dev. I don't want to say that, because in a lot of these sims that I've been seeing, Rodgers falls off tremendously with his rating. And I can't have that. So, I got the insurance policy for if Aaron Rodgers decides to retire at any point, or if his rating just gets too bad to start him. Because, let's face it, most likely I'm going to have Aaron for the entirety of the rebuild. But also at the same time, if he for some reason ends up going into free agency, I'm gonna kind of let him walk, if we're being honest. I love Aaron to death, I do, but in the sim and just how it works, he falls off tremendously. So we have KJ Costello here to be the eventual successor of Aaron Rodgers. Alright, y'all, at the start of year 2, we're 83 on offense and defense, 80 overall. I can't sign depth players because, well, I have no money. But, again, KJ Costello's back, and Aaron dropped 6 rating points through the entire, from last year to now. And A-Rod, my dude, he's getting up there. So, what's his contract looking like? We have 4 more years. Well, it's a 4-year deal. I mean, it drops off nicely for 2023, but at that point, it's like I would hope Aaron would retire. So that's a big fucking contract. But we moved Alaric Jackson into right guard for now, because we still have Bulaga. Obviously, Ebron is our new tight end acquisition. So we have Devontae, Scantling, Golding, and Trevor Davis. Dylan Moses he's getting a start. Rashawn Gary, by the way, star dev, as well as 26 Savage. So, hopefully we get some nice progress out of them. Creed Humphrey is going to be the long snapper here. Gandy Golden and Trevor Davis are kick returners. Alright. I still can't. Honestly, I'm going to move the rush right end to be Rashawn Gary there. Sub linebacker, Moses is better, so he's going to be the sub linebacker. And all I have is Naheem Hines, so, like, even if I wanted to go sign a power back right now for just depth, I can't, because we have no cap penalties to clear. Like, our team expensive. Most of it is tied up in Aaron Rodgers. So I'm a low ball. I'm going to commit to 7 wins this year. And hopefully, at the midway point, we won't suck. Alright, so we are 4-4 again at about the midway point. And we'll see what happens. Like, it's a lot of up and down, man. Like, a lot of up and down. But hopefully we could squeak into the playoffs. So we ended up going 7-9. First two, I mean 85, 83 now, but oh, we have some weekly award. Zadarius Smith. Oh, week 10, Zadarius Smith again. But something is not going right with this team. And like, LaFleur isn't bad of a coach. I've used his playbook before. It's kind of fun to use. It is like a just off-screen thing. 7-9 after year 1 of 8-8. But all right, let's check out our yearly stats anyway. Rodgers had a very much up year in yards, but 29 touchdowns, 8 picks. Ugh. Nyheim Hines almost having a breakout year, 935 yards, 7 tutties. Jimmy Graham in the fullback spot had 6. But Davante Adams almost had a 1,500-yard year with 11 scores, 9, 12, and 5 for Reynolds, 886 and 6 for MVS. Ebron had 680 and 3. And even Gandy Golden had a touchdown. Dylan Moses, our rookie, led the team in tackles. 4 TFLs, a sack, 2 picks. Nice. Our TFL's leader was Kenny Clark and Dean Lowry with 14, with Sean Gary following that up with 10. And if we look at sacks, Clark and Smith both had 10 sacks on the year. That's good. 6.5, 5.5, 3, 2, and picks. Dylan Moses and Josh Jackson led the team with 2 each. Oh, wait, hold up. I gotta look for defensive touchdowns. No defensive touchdowns this season. None from the kick returners, and none from the punt returner. We'll check out yearly awards at Super Bowl week. Alright, as per customary on the channel, we take a look at our Pro Bowlers. Jake Fromm, rookie Pro Bowler, look at that. Tua Tagovailoa for the Dolphins made it as well. Davante Adams made it in. No, Bakhtiari made it in. Kenny Clark made it in. Zadarius Smith made it in. None of our corners. None of our... J.K. Scott made it into the Pro Bowl for the punter. Right on. Yeah, Pro Bowl punter. Okay, and it's the Giants and the Jaguars in the Super Bowl. We already did the Giants rebuild, so the Jaguars are next on the list as well. Dylan Moses got 2 skill points. Look at that. But we're going to look at the yearly awards now. So Baker Mayfield won MVP. Jacoby Brissett somehow was the runner-up in New England. Tua Tagovailoa number 3. No Packers. Coach of the Year went to John Harbaugh. Offensive Player of the Year in the NFC went to Saquon Barkley, with Aaron Rodgers coming in at number 4. Defensive Player of the Year, Quan Alexander. No Packers for now, but Mason Foster ended up signing with the Eagles and getting 10th. Jake Fromm was Rookie of the Year, on offense anyway, because all the offensive players we drafted were linemen and one receiver. Dylan Moses won Rookie of the Year for the defense. I mean, individual successes, not much. It was just a down year. Hopefully, we can right any ships, and I will see you at the recap of the draft. Also, because I'm a dork and forgot, Jacksonville won the Super Bowl. Okay, so I gotta pop in live really quick here. It turns out, if you look under the Steelers bids there, that is the symbol for the Monarchs, I believe, or the Black Knights of London. There's a team that relocated, and I'm just now seeing it. So, we're gonna go find out who that team is. We're gonna see who ended up moving from their stadium. We'll start with, obviously, NFC North. That's good. No one in the South. No one in the East. And no one in the West. So an AFC team has moved to London. AFC North is okay. The South is okay. Let's check the West. It was the Chargers that moved to London. That is really interesting. I've never seen that in one of these sim rebuilds. That's actually kind of awesome. Alright, so here we are at our draft recap. We had 3 picks. Otherwise, the other ones because I used my second for this year and my first for next, trade up for Terada Mitchell there. And we also got Rondale Moore, our original pick at number 9. And we drafted this guy in the 4th round. But I've made a choice that is going to be really hard for us. By the way, KJ Costello is a star def. We are going to... Hold up! Humphrey's a superstar. As is Alaric Jackson. Look at that, man. Let's generate best lineup right now. Creed Humphrey can go into center. I'll look at my actual depth chart here in a minute. We're not gonna let a superstar ride the pine, you know what I'm saying? So... I can't exactly put him on trade block yet, but I will be starting Jackson at right tackle. I think what I might do is actually move Balaga into right guard. I know he's played tackle his whole career, but I can work with this. See, 83 at a right tackle, at a right guard, so let's generate best again. So the only Balaga would be an 84 overall center. That is really interesting at this stage. But there's only 5 rating points separating KJ Costello and Aaron Rodgers in overall. At some point, it's gonna be the Costello show. As much as I want Aaron to do well, year 1 he was a 90. Year 2, 84. Year 3, 78. It is a literal massive fall from grace for one Aaron Rodgers right now. Blake Martinez has been developing well. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to trade Preston Smith in the... Because we're going to, one, start Tirada Mitchell in there. And we're going to put Blake Martinez as a right outside linebacker. And we are going to be trading Preston Smith if we can. Jair is developing well. I need a little more out of Gary and Savage, though, for being completely honest. Jake Elliott, we did sign in the offseason to be our new kicker. I will see you at the start of year number 3. Alright, so we have our trade offers here for Preston Smith. And the best one, and I think the one I will be taking, is this offer here from Miami. A 2023 second round, a 2022 fifth round, and a 2023 seventh round. So this is the deal we'll be taking. I'll see you at the beginning of the year. Alright, y'all. It's the start of year 1. Okay? We're going to do some upgrade players quick. Oh, hey, Rashawn Gary's 81 overall now. Nice. I am going to make a very crucial decision here. So, as we know, there's only 5 points of difference between Aaron Rodgers and KJ Costello. I have gone back and forth for like the last 20 minutes on whether I should keep starting Aaron, or is it now the Costello show? Fun fact, I have Aaron Rodgers on the trade block. So if I get a good offer for him, it's got to be a good one. But for at least this year, for year number 3, it is still the Aaron Rodgers show. However, should we be losing pretty bad, or depending on record by the midway point, it might be the Costello show early. So as of right now, Aaron Rodgers will be the quarterback for year number 3. And if that changes, you will know. So after the bye week, we are at 5-2. I think this is our best start all year. Or in this entire rebuild, I should say. Because, you know, we ended up going 500 both. We ended up going 500 year 1 and then 7-9 year 2. So this is probably our best start. But, you know, hopefully we can keep it going and go into the playoffs. I'd like you guys to point your attention to Mr. Rondale Moore here. Mr. Superstar X Factor on offense. 98 speed, 99 excel. That is kind of lit. When did he get it? Oh, that is his standard dev trait. And he has the ability to double me. Well, let's check our main rookie on the defensive side of the ball. Nice and superstar development. So, like, these are going to be our cornerstones. Like, hell yeah. 26 Savage is an 80 now. I still would like to see more out of 26 Savage and Rashawn Gary, but just wanted to point out that Rondale Moore is an X Factor. So we made the playoffs. Now let me show you the NFC. Okay. We would have Lions went 14-2, surprisingly. We went 12-4, but we are the 5 seed. Because, well, Cardinals are the 2, Eagles the 3, the Bucks the 4, and the Panthers are the 6. On the AFC side of things, the Browns are the 1, the Pats are the 2, which is really interesting. Oh God, AFC wasn't all that great this season. The Steelers number 3 or number 5. Yeah, number 5 because I forgot about the Browns. Number 3 is London. Number 6 is the Ravens, and the Colts are the 4. So we have a 91 offense, 87 defense. I guess if you threaten Aaron Rodgers' job, he actually performs. He's now back up to an 80. I mean, which is fine for now. Rondale Moore ended up getting up to an 87. Josh Reynolds is at an 80. Big Pogs onto my line all year. 87 and 80 there. 82. We're getting decent production out of the defense, but we'll be facing Tampa Bay in the wild card game, and I will see you in the sim. I'm tired. I gotta go to bed. Oh shit. Did I literally forget to hit stop recording?
It's a new day! Yes, it is!
So, sorry about the blast of tunes there. As you see, it is in fact a new day. I changed shirts, I slept, I worked, but here we are, about to get into the sim for our, I think we're in year number 3. Yeah, we're in year 3 of our Packers rebuild. I do have our list. Let me pull up the list for the Super Bowl winners, because as we've stated, the Super Bowl winners will determine the next rebuild team. So I will see you in the sim for this playoff game against the Buccaneers. Alright, here we are. We are in the sim now. Going and visiting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who go up 3-0. 6-0, I should say. Can A-Rod lead us down the field to get a score? Seemingly no. Packers get blanked in the first half, 9-0. But go down the field and get a touchdown. Oh, that had to be a turnover. And get another one. 14-12 Packers. 17-12 Packers. Alright. And the Green Bay Packers managed to hold off the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with a score of 17-12. Your stats on the game for your Green Bay Packers. 23-32 for Aaron Rodgers for 255, a score and a pick. Where Naheem Hines at 76 yards rushing. No tutties, unfortunately. Davante Adams was your leading receiver with 8 catches, 91 yards, and a score. Rondale had 7 and 67. Ebron 4 for 38, and a whole lot of 1 catches. Ebron got Aaron's other touchdown, by the way. The tackles leader was Dylan Moses, and Josh Jackson tied with 8. TFLs, I got 2 sacks. There we go. So 4 total sacks, 1 interception for Jair Alexander. No touchdowns. They don't want to give me kick and punt return stats. Okay. Alright. So let's go see who we face in round number 2. Alright, we are here in the sim once again. Divisional round against the Arizona Cardinals. Ooh, 26 Savage picking off Kyler Murray. But the Cards go up 7-3. Aaron goes up, get us a touchdown. Now we're down a score again. Now we're up 17-14. 17's all. hitting a field goal to go at 20-17 at half. But, you know, I think this is our first playoff with the Packers. I'm pretty sure it is. But, ooh. Ben, don't break defense. There we go. And the Packers managed to hold on for a 5-point lead, 29-24 over Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. 34-45 for 408 and only one touchdown. Nyheim Hines had 22 carries, 75 yards, and 2 scores. Rondale and Devontae were your leading receptions leaders, but Devontae had the most yards with 118, and Rodgers' only score. Defensively, Dylan Moses was your tackles leader. Had to think of it. Kenny Clark got 3 sacks. Moses and Smith combined for 2. And 26 Savage and Kevin King getting picks. Alright, and now we are headed to I just did the Chiefs. The NFC title game. Alright, here we are. NFC title game in Lambeau. Wait a minute, the 5 and 6 seeds are in the NFC title game. Because we're in Lambeau. Wow, that's kind of dope, actually. But the Packers jump out to a 13-0 lead. It's now 13-3, 20-3, 20-10 going into the half. Packers looking to, and for me personally, if any of you watched my Packers rebuild from Madden 19, will know I took the Packers to 4 straight NFC title games, not winning a damn one of them. So it was like, oof. The Green Bay Packers are heading back to the Super Bowl with a final score of 34-27. Aaron Rodgers was 29 of 37 for 319 yards and 3 scores, no picks. Nyheim Hines had 115 yards in the score. Eric Ebron led the team in catches with 7, 67 yards and a touchdown. Davante Adams was 6 for 84 for a score. And Valdez-Scantling getting Aaron's other touchdown. Defensively speaking, leader in tackles was Jair Alexander. Couple of TFLs there, but only 1 sack from Dean Lowry. But we did get 2 picks, one with Adrian Amos and one with Dylan Moses. So, now, who will the Packers play in the Super Bowl? As is customary, is Pro Bowl time for the 2021 season. So far, no Packers. Oh, wow. Not a single Packers on the offense. Let's see defensively. I think it might be weird because the Packers are in the Super Bowl. They're not going to show Packer players in the Pro Bowl. So, let me, because quick spoiler alert, the Browns are our Super Bowl opponent. Yeah, and like Baker, anybody that would typically be on the Browns is not on the Pro Bowl roster, so. But do they still give Pro Bowl credit? But anyway, we are going to be in the sim here just shortly. We're going to look at the yearly awards first before going into the Super Bowl. Baker Mayfield won MVP. Aaron Rodgers, number 3. on the MVP list. Matt Patricia with the Lions. Matt LaFleur was number 2. Nerd Belichick at 6, because, you know, I'm a Pats fan. NFC. Zeke Elliott was the Offensive Player of the Year with Aaron Rodgers at number 2. Aaron still got it, even though he's madly decreasing in overall. Defensive Player of the Year, by the way, was Khalil Mack. Dylan Moses was number 10. Rondale Moore, Rookie of the Year. No other Packers on the list. Caden Stearns with the Cardinals, Defensive Rookie of the Year. No Packers on that list either. So now, we're going to get our upgrade out of the way. Packers, Browns, the Super Bowl. And here we are, the Super Bowl, the Green Bay Packers going up against the Cleveland Browns. You never would have thought to see a Packers-Browns Super Bowl, though. In Super Bowl 56, if I read that Roman numeral correctly. Packers get stuffed, and now they're down 14-0. Come on, Green Bay, 14-3, alright. Now down 17-3. 24-3. 24-10. 31-10. It's official. There's no coming back now. The Cleveland Browns win the Super Bowl 38-17 over the Green Bay Packers. Now, again, if you guys watched my Packers rebuild in Madden 19 post-Super Bowl, we did go 4 straight. We got farther than we did in Madden 19, at least, by actually getting a Super Bowl. But we'll see what year number 4 has to offer. And what needed to be done. Because we couldn't afford to sign any depth. And Aaron Rodgers is now a 74 overall. He would have been making $24 million to ride the bench, because KJ Costello is now the starter. So we sent Aaron Rodgers to Jacksonville, along with Jace Sternberger and a 4th round pick for the number 13 overall in the draft. It's gonna break the hearts of a lot of Packer backers, but there was literally nothing I could do to bring. I couldn't even bring in depth, man. I was running out of money on in-house signings until I was able to trade Aaron Rodgers. So now I will be able to actually improve the team in other ways, because let's face it, KJ Costello was going to be the starter this season regardless, because Aaron Rodgers just plummeted in overall. Like, granted, yes, all the X factors are great, but I'm trying to win games right now. Now, we'll see if that Jacksonville trade bites me in the ass, but Aaron Rodgers is Jaguar. Alright, so our first round of free agency signings after the Aaron Rodgers trade, we picked up Ryan Tannehill to back up KJ Costello. Unfortunately, Jason Kelsey rejected us, but we did pick up Deshaun Hand, who we were going to move over to right end. Let's see if a lot of our other depth choices decided to sign. Let's see what we have here. Don't mind me while I take a sip. Alright. So John Ross ended up signing up. Gerald McCoy signed up for depth. Richard Sherman accepted. Shaquem Griffin signed. Sony Michel rejected. Dominique Easley signed. all but missed a PlayStation, decided to sign with the Packers. So, now all I gotta do is look for a backup for Nyheim Hines. Maybe get a power back, kind of run the two-headed beast, so that way Nyheim Hines can actually, you know, take a break once in a while. So, we now have the 6th overall pick. We traded Dean Lowry because, well, let's face it, Deshaun Hand's replacing him. Our 3rd and our 4th round pick for the number 6 overall from the Bears. Alright, y'all. So, as you see, we're still in the sim screen. But here we are at the draft recap now. Our 2022 rookies have been signed. We went Devontae Dobbs 6th overall at left guard, 77 overall. Then we grabbed Harry Miller at center, also 77 overall, the 13th pick. And then, for some QB depth, we drafted Talia Tagovailoa, the brother of Tua Tagovailoa, at number 31 in round number 2. And we got Kevin Austin Jr., 66, Master Teague, 63, Gervin Hall at 61, and Jarrell Cherry at 59 overall with Mr. Irrelevant. But Dobbs starting, Miller starting. Obviously, Tua's gonna be the primary, or Talia is gonna be the primary backup of KJ Costello. So and then we have Tannehill just as a filler. Phillip Rivers was actually in free agency. I could have picked him up, but he was asking way too much money to be riding my bench, so I chose otherwise. But now, with all that figured out, we got a lot of depth going on. Because, let's be real, I haven't seen this above, like, 30 going into the regular season the last 2 years. So, I'll meet you at the beginning of year number 4. Alright, here we are at the start of year number 4. And, not a bad team. 85 overall, 87 in both offense and defense. As you know, the big move in the offseason was the trade of Aaron Rodgers. It is now the KJ Costello show here in Green Bay. We got Rondale Moore and Davante Adams as X Factors. We are actually going to start our rookie center and our rookie left guard. Get good production out of that. Ebron is still holding strong here. Could we see Davante Adams join the 99 club today? But on D, Richard Sherman, our lone X Factor there. But we picked up a lot of depth in free agency and whatnot, and via draft. So, hopefully, we're geared to make another run to the Super Bowl. I'm actually going to put John Ross as our main kick returner. Now, specialist shit. Sean. Yeah, we should be good there. Josh Reynolds at receiver. Nyheim Hines is our 3rd down guy. Deontay Foreman, the power back. Master Teague. A 63 overall. I forgot we drafted him as a depth running back. But, on to year number 4. Alright, so here we are at the bye week. We're gonna go extra prep. But anyway, we are currently sitting at 2-6. We were in the Super Bowl last year with Aaron Rodgers at the quarterback. However, all good things must end in time. Firstly, we're re-signing Rashawn Gary. He wants more money. How about you, 26 Savage? There we go. Of course, I'll re-sign the kicker. Lindsley, I'm gonna finally let walk. And Zadarius Smith, I'll bring in Richard Sherman on a 1 year. And I think I'm gonna let Zadarius Smith kind of walk here. And then we brought in a lot of depth guys here, so alright. Now it's on to the playoffs. Alright, so as of right at this second, it looks like trading Aaron Rodgers was a grave mistake. We did not make the playoffs after making the Super Bowl last year. But we did end up going 5-11, so we have a decent draft pick at any rate for year 5, but I had to do our player upgrades, but Dylan Moses has an ability now. Under pressure. And pick artist. Nice. Did he get the dev trait? Nope. Still a superstar. Alright, who else got abilities? Rondale Moore got an ability. We know he's an X Factor. His post flag elite and streak specialist. So he can burn him downfield. Harry Miller got the secure protector ability. And he is a superstar dev, 81 out of year 1. Now let's see if anybody on our team did in fact get X Factors. So KJ Costello 77. Mini Tua is 74. We have 5 superstar devs on offensive line. This is probably the beefiest offensive line I've put together so far. Still no X Factors outside of Sherman on the D line, on the defense. Like, but Moses is a 90 now. Terada Mitchell is an 84. Jair is developing nicely, but again, like, with a team this good, we should not go 5-11. But I will see you at the Pro Bowl rosters. Alright, so here we are at the Pro Bowl roster. So Tua Tagovailoa made the Pro Bowl. Mini Tua obviously didn't. Let's see here. David Bakhtiari made the Pro Bowl. Rashawn Gary made the Pro Bowl. Let's go. As did Kenny Clark. Excuse me. Devin White. And that's about it as far as our Pro Bowlers go. It's the Browns and the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. And I will let you know who wins and the off-season re-sign period. Also, because I'm a goof, I forgot to go over the stats. I tend to do that. I think I forgot to go over the stats last season too, but it's fine. Alright, for KJ Costello's first starting season, he has just about 3,900 yards, 28 touchdowns, 15 picks. Oof. 909 from Naheem Hines, and 4 scores. 173 and 3 for Deontay Foreman. Devontae Adams putting up another 1,000-yard season with 8 scores. Ebron had 6 and 809. Josh Reynolds 797 and 5. Rondale had 721 and 6. Naheem got one out of the backfield. Chase Allen, Deontay Foreman got one out of the backfield. Defensively, Dylan Moses led the team in tackles. He also had 5 TFLs, 2 sacks, and a pick. Our TFL leader this year was Kenny Clark with 20. That's a badass season. Deshaun Hand had 17. Darius Smith had 15. But Rashawn Gary blowing up. 10.5 sacks, 6 for Hand, 6 for Smith, 4.5 for Clark. Our picks leader was Jair Alexander with 3. Now let's see if the boys had any defensive touchdowns, which there were none. Any kick return touchdowns, there were none. Punt return touchdowns, there were none. But yeah, I mean, not a bad first starting season for KJ Costello, but ugh. And our yearly awards as well. Tua Tagovailoa wins MVP. No Packers Coach of the Year. Well, that's not gonna fucking happen. We shit the bed this year. 15-1 Dallas Cowboys. Wow. Who did Dallas lose to? I'm gonna go find that out later. Offensive Player of the Year was Zeke Elliott, with no Packers on the list. Defensive Player of the Year is Khalil Mack. No Packers there. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Spencer Rattler. No Packers there. Defensively, Cade Stover. No Packers there. I mean, I also did go with offensive linemen in the first 2 picks I had, so I'll spend this Coach XP. Let's get the training boost for tight ends and kickers. Get that all the way boosted. All right, let's see who wins Super Bowl 57. The Cleveland Browns win Super Bowl 57. So it's looking like they're going to be the rebuild team for the next episode here. Darius Smith is going to get the heat. Rashawn Gary, we're going to re-sign. He had a monster year this year. And he's going to sign back up. And I do believe we already re-signed 26 Savage. MVS, yeah, I'm going to look elsewhere for that position. I mean, a lot of our depth picks. So all of them can go pound sand. And I will see you if we make a big free agency move. It's now year 5. Well, that's a big signing. Alright, so we're in the recap of our very last draft for this Packers rebuild. And we drafted Jay Watson, 78 left end. Well, we're actually going to convert him to a linebacker to fit our 3-4 system here. And we have Steve Banks, 74 overall, picked up in the 2nd round. He was projected to go top 5. Landed to me in the 3rd pick of the 2nd round, so I went for it. Lynn Sheffield, 67. Ryan Gates, 67. And a 53 center at Mr. Irrelevant. Year 5. It's time. Alright, so Josh Reynolds, very much underperforming. So we'll trade into the Patriots for a 3rd, a 6th, and a 7th round pick. Alright, here we are at the finale, year number 5. Let's take a look at our team here. Again, gold superstars across the board. Surprisingly, only one of them is a scheme fit, but that's not important. Bakhtiari might make it back to the 99 club. Make it to the 99 club, I'm sorry. 2 X Factors at receiver. As you saw, we did trade Josh Reynolds out. Bobby Wagner we picked up in free agency. We moved him to left outside while Watson here developed, so we got it the number 3 overall pick. Alright. There we go. Got all that situated. I'm going to put the Rook as the power back. And Dylan Moses. We're all good there. Alright, so no hidden stars on our practice squad. And I will see you at the midway point. Alright, so at the midway point, we're 2-5-1. Oh my god. Well, this is proving that the trade of Aaron Rodgers was a dire mistake. Okay, Kenny Clark wants more money. Dylan's staying. Creed wants more money. Alaric signed. KJ Costello comes to the end of his rookie deal. We are going to make a very drastic change midway through the season. We are going to be starting Talia Tagovailoa. KJ Costello has led us to nothing but disappointment since becoming the guy. 5-11 season last year, and now 2-5-1. So for the remainder of the year, we are going to be starting Talia Tagovailoa. Now, when did we get a star guard? When did I... Oh yeah, I must have signed you for depth. We still don't know this guy's dev trait yet. This man is at 80 overall already. Martinez might be getting replaced here in a minute, but can only do so much. Let's see if Talia Tagovailoa can save our season. Alright, so we didn't make the playoffs, as you see. We're going to do one last upgrade player. As you see, we tied in week 17. But I want to see the record 4-10-2. Talia Tagovailoa and KJ Costello literally had the same record. 4-10-2. That is awful. Full enough to be the 4th overall pick in the following draft. So, understandably, trading Aaron Rodgers was a supremely grave mistake. And like, would I have liked to have kept Aaron? Absolutely. But with how fast his overall was plummeting, you would have made the move too, I think, 2 lackluster seasons after making the Super Bowl in year 3. Pro Bowl roster. Big Tagovailoa made the Pro Bowl at QB1. Nice. So far, no Bakhtiari. There we go. Rashawn Gary made the Pro Bowl. Dylan Moses made the Pro Bowl. Kyle Fuller, who we went after in free agency, didn't choose to sign to this because we kind of lowballed him, but... And then there's one last thing we need to do, and that's see our Super Bowl winner. Well, it doesn't really matter who our Super Bowl winner is, because we did the Chiefs rebuild, as you already know. Let's go over the stats quick, and then we have yearly awards as well. So comparatively, KJ Costello, before we pulled him, was at 1,700 yards, 11 scores, 12 picks. Taulia Tagovailoa was at 2,000 yards, 12 TDs, and 8 picks. So, I mean, we got a little more yards and 1 more touchdown and less picks. So, but also Taulia had more pass attempts than Costello did. But rushing, not much. 7 touchdowns, 825 for Nyheim Hines. Devontae did not have a 1,000-yard season for, like, I feel the first time this whole rebuild. Dylan Moses led the team in tackles. Our TFL's leader was Deshaun Hand. Rashawn Gary. Took him a few years to finally develop, but 11 sacks. Jair Alexander had 4 picks. Any tutties on defense. Ah! Jair Alexander got himself a pick 6. That's kind of cool. Any punt return touchdown, kick returns? No. Punt returns? 2 punt return touchdowns for Rondale Moore. So, there was individual success here. Any Packers and Player of the Week? Jair with the pick 6 in week 5. Dylan Moses in week 3. But the yearly awards is what we're here to look at. Tua wins MVP. Shock, no Packers. Also a shock. Sarcasm completely implied. Jeremy Stott, by the way, Coach of the Year for the Dolphins. Zeke Elliott wins Offensive Player of the Year. No Packers, what a shock. Khalil Mack wins Defensive Player of the Year again. Bobby Wagner, 3rd on the list. Dylan Moses is 5th. So we have good defensive stars. But I'm thinking it was the trade of Aaron Rodgers that kind of derailed our entire year. Our entire rebuild. After going to a Super Bowl. But Steve Banks, that rookie we picked, the rookie running back, was 3rd in Rookie of the Year. Jay Watson, our 3rd overall pick, was 2nd in Rookie of the Year on defense. So, now let us see what sort of team we are leaving behind. By the way, I already put Carolina on the list. But since there's one team that has won multiple Super Bowls in this rebuild, and that'll be who we do our rebuild for next. By the way, Carolina won the Super Bowl. Land cable not connected? Fuck off. Like, really? Let's up the sell. What are you talking about? Stop talking about my LAN cable. And you know what? I'm a franchise tag him. Not like it matters, but now let's see what kind of team we now have to leave behind as the Packers continue the rebuild behind Talia Tagovailoa and KJ Costello. We were hoping Costello would be our guy after Aaron left, but it turned out not to be. My offensive line's going to stay intact. Ebron regressed. 91, 93. On the defense, Rashawn Gary and 26 Savage finally get to superstar devs. Jay Watson, superstar dev. Which, if we were to have gone another season, he'd instantly become the starter at right outside. Amos is regressing hard. But 26 Savage and Rashawn Gary finally developing into the players I needed them to earlier. But, you know, some people take a little longer than most. It's not a big deal. But with that being said, it's time to do a little... It's time to tell you who we will be rebuilding in the next episode. And it is the Cleveland Browns. They won 2 Super Bowls in this little rebuild here. So they will be next after the Browns won. I'm gonna... Because it will be... Because the Packers would be our 4th rebuild? Giants, Saints, Chiefs, Packers, yes. So the Browns will be the 5th one. Or our... I'm gonna give you a little sneak into the future here. While the Browns are our next rebuild, the rebuild following, no matter what it is, will be that of the New England Patriots. So the next 2 rebuilds are going to be Browns, Patriots, and then we'll keep on going from there. But with that being said, hope you all have a good day. Hopefully you watched the whole thing. And remember, I do stream on Twitch rather regularly. Links down below, and I will see you soon. Good day, goodbye, and good.